Did you know that our early bonds in childhood, even during infancy, really shape our lives? So when I say really shape our lives, I mean we develop a map, we develop what's called a schema of understanding the dynamics not only with other people and the way in which we're perceived by other people, influenced by other people, how we feel as though we're judged by other people. All of this starts manifesting in infancy. The moment we interact with another person, we're starting to download all of that data in the unconscious mind. So if we formulate very secure attachments, well, what does that mean? Well, that means loving and caring for baby. When baby cries, it's not always about being so attentive, but it's about balancing frustrations with pleasure. It's okay to allow baby to be frustrated and to learn how to self-soothe. It's not okay if baby's crying in their crib for a half an hour, and they want to be fed, they need to be changed. They notice the neglect right away. And then as they notice the neglect, the frustration builds. And the frustration builds, then they start to develop, which is very unfortunate because of the dynamic, an insecure attachment. So the more in which we're balancing the pleasure and frustration, we can establish a secure attachment. So research suggests that 60% of the population actually have established secure attachments, which is great. But that means 40% of the population have insecure attachments, meaning that something happened in childhood that really affected you, that has impacted your ability to make relationships later on. Not to say that you can't, but to say that it's more difficult. Difficult in what sense? Maybe it's difficult to make friends, or maybe it's difficult to maintain relationships. Either way, you are struggling. And in order to really understand how we can better our relationships, how we can promote positive relationships, what we need to do to set boundaries when we have negative or toxic relationships, this is so important. So to understand what your attachment is, what type of insecure attachment, if you have an insecure attachment, and how does that insecure attachment influence you today, well, then you're going to need to explore the unconscious mind with the mind people. And you do this by clicking the link below. You can schedule a consultation with our consultation care coordinators, and the team will provide a personalized treatment recommendation, resources, suggest workshops, events, anything that you need as a means to help you achieve your goal. Therapy is a start, but what is also encompassing therapy? So you might have some self-help resources like the Ultimate Mental Health Toolbox, or you might have other resources like a workshop, and these workshops help with practical application as to how not only can we better ourselves, but better our relationships. So how do we promote healthy relationships? It starts with understanding what a healthy relationship is, what a secure attachment is, and what are some healthy ways of arguing. Because even though we have healthy relationships, it's not uncommon to argue. It's not uncommon to get into an argument or a debate with a loved one. But how do we fight fair? How do we establish or continue to maintain that foundation of friendship, right? How do we establish a healthy way of essentially arguing? By doing this, by having a secure attachment, by having an understanding of where these insecurities have come from, working on your insecurities, and now let's say confronting a romantic partner or a friend, then you'll be in a position to not only advocate for yourself, but to establish boundaries. And just because someone might not necessarily abide by your boundaries doesn't mean you can't reinforce them, because you can still do your part even though the other person might not want to. So remember, you come first. Your history is part of you. It is not the whole story. Just because it was difficult to formulate relationships in the beginning stages of your life doesn't mean you have to live a life of a broken record and continue doing the same thing. You can have wonderful relationships, and you can feel very supported by people. Let's show you how at the Mind People.